Hello everyone, and welcome to episode number 149 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. It is Saturday, February 18th, 2023, and today is my birthday. Happy birthday to me. So I've made it another trip around and another year older and perhaps another year wiser. I don't know about that one, but so yeah, it's a gorgeous day for my birthday today. So far I'm having a wonderful day. It's just a little bit after lunchtime and we've got a gorgeous bright blue sunny sky. And it's cold. It's only around 30 degrees out right now, but well, relatively cold. I'm a Canadian living in Pennsylvania. It's really not that cold out there, but it's a gorgeous looking day out there. So if you're a new viewer, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what I've been up to with my knitting. I'm so happy to have you back here again. I hope you enjoy it, all of you. If you have not yet, it would be wonderful if you would subscribe to my channel, like this video, and come back and see me again next week. I tried filming a few shorts. Apparently you can eventually teach an old dog new tricks. The first two tries did not come up as shorts. They just came up as short little videos on my regular feed. But then third time was the charm. I finally got it figured out. So I've posted a few shorts. They're just of socks that I've knit. Nothing too exciting, but I'm having fun doing that. And I think it's going to be a really fun way to keep a record of all the different socks I've knit over time. So I'll talk more about a few things and a few gifts and treats I've got for myself this year for my birthday. But first off, I want to show you my finished object for the week. Although it's not 100% finished, it's not blocked yet. I meant to get it blocked this week, but time just escaped me and I didn't get around to it. I really am going to try to get it into some water to soak when I'm done filming and get it pinned out so it has time to block and dry over the next few days. But my Anthology throw is done and I love it. It's like I say, it's not blocked yet, so it is a little scrunchy bunchy, but especially on the edge here. So I'm not going to brock it. Words, Karen. I'm not going to block it aggressively. I think I'll just, once it's soaked, I'll just lay it out and I'll just pin out so that the border opens up a little better. It opens up when the whole thing drops on the floor and I'm left just holding on to a few little points. But I do want this part to be accentuated a little bit. I think these points are really cute. So anyways, this is a pattern by Helen Stewart, the Curious Handmaid. It was one of the patterns in the Knitvent 2022 ebook that she offered or had for sale. I used an advent calendar of 20-gram minis that I bought for myself this past year. I used all 24 minis. I used most of the mini. Out of the 20s, I used about 14 to 16 grams. 14 to 16? How much did I use? It was probably 16 to 18 grams of each one. I'd have about 3 grams between 6 and 3 grams left of each skein, or each of the minis, that I put into my Advent leftover socks that I showed you, I think, last week. That took me up to this last red piece here. Then I broke into the 100-gram skein, and I used some of that to do part of the border. And if I did the entire border in the 100-gram, I wouldn't have enough left for a pair of socks. And I still wanted a pair of socks out of that. So I just cracked into a bare skein and did the last few rounds in the bind off in a bare yarn. And I really love the way it turned out. And again, the Advent kit was from Orlando Fiber Arts. I don't think I mentioned that. I probably didn't mention that. But I plan on getting that blocked hopefully today. If not today, then it definitely has to get blocked in the next few days, so that I can show it to you 100% done and blocked next week. I meant to have it done for this week, but I just didn't manage to get that done. One of my birthday presents was this gorgeous ceramic owl mug. I love this. Isn't he so cute? They have these mugs at a little coffee shop that we like to go to just down across the border in Maryland. When we're down that way, we tend to stop there and my husband grabs a coffee. I typically get a fancy drink. Yesterday I only got a Diet Coke, but they've had these mugs there off and on the last several years we've been going down there. Last year I wanted to get myself one for my birthday. We had gone down there right around my birthday a year ago. They had none. So I went away pouting. And then we went this year, they had them again. When we were there yesterday, they had the mugs. So I was looking through them while we were waiting for our order to get prepped. I was looking through them and I found the one with the owls on it. I've seen some in the past that have had sheep or horses on them, and they didn't have that. So I thought, I was teasing the hubby. I asked, have you bought my birthday present yet? And he says, not yet. And I said, I'd like that mug. So I said, consider your birthday shopping finished. So that worked out perfectly. So he got me the mug for my birthday yesterday, or got it for me yesterday for my birthday today. So I love owls also. So back to the knitting. A fair warning, I might be a little bit tangential today, but it is what it is. The second project I spent some time working on this week, and I got a fair bit done, I'm happy with my progress, is my Rachel top. And this is the pattern by Veronica Job. And since I saw you last week, I've added from where this marker is up. So I added a good couple inches to this. So like I say, it takes a while to get all the way around because I'm dainty and such. So it does take a while to get all the way around, but I got through a little over two 8-round repeats. So I'm happy with my progress on that. I hope to get more done on it this week, but I'm not sure if I will. So I am, like I said, I am happy with my progress on that. So I've added another couple inches. I think I only have to do another, I think 4 or 5 more repeats, the 8-round repeats, and that will finish off the decreasing down that side panel. And then once I'm there, I can do a measure to see if it's going to be long enough from the armhole to the bottom of the armhole to the hip, and see if the length is good. If the length's not quite good, then I will continue to just do it straight for a few more rounds until it reaches the length that I want, and then I'll separate for the front and the back. So I will eventually get that poor top done. I think I started that, oh, I forget when I started that. I should have written that down. Anyway, the other project I've spent a goodly amount of time this week on is living in my Moonstone Makes or Moonstone Dye Works project bag, and these are my February socks. So these are socks that I'm knitting out of my 12-day 50-gram advent calendar. Again, this is another one from Orlando Fiber Arts, and I got this one with the intention of making 12 pair of socks out of the 12 days in the 12-day advent calendar. So what I decided to do was the first of each month I would open each one of the boxes and knit a pair of sort of shorty socks with those. And here's where I am on my February socks. So the yarn was gorgeous, almost done with it. I love the color. Let's tuck that there. So let's get this out of the way. The yarn is so pretty. So since I saw you last, I was down here. I was only part way along on the foot. So since I saw you, I finished the foot, finished the gusset increasing, did the heel turn and heel flap, and I've started up the leg. And so far I have 10-14 rounds done on the leg so far. My plan is probably to do about 20 to 30 rounds in stockinette, and then I will switch and start doing either a 1x1 or a 2x2 rib. I haven't decided yet. And I will continue doing that until I completely run out of yarn. I will join in a little bit of the bare yarn and do just a handful of rounds, 3 to 5 rounds in bare to finish it off, so that I have the toes, heels, and just a teeny bit on the top done in the bare yarn. So those are my February socks. And I'm not using a specific pattern for this. It's just kind of a basic toe-up vanilla sock pattern with the gusset increasing, a typical heel turn, or the gusset heel turn and slip stitch heel. And that's my preferred heel. It fits my foot nicely, and it's the most comfortable fit for myself. And I quite enjoy socks that are done that way. So I kind of settled on a toe-up pattern that like a pattern recipe that I really enjoy. And I'm happily knitting all of my 50 gram skeins into sort of shorty socks. And that way I can use up every last drop of the 50 grams. And I didn't say, I'm just drinking water. Can't tell in here, but it's just a nice cup of cold water. So since I saw you last week, so besides getting Anthology throw finished, a good couple inches added to my Rachel top, and a good chunk done on my February socks, I also have a new cast on. Sock Madness is on. And the qualifying round pattern is out. So everyone that is participating in Sock Madness this year are, I hope, happily knitting away on these socks. They are a really cute design. The specs came out Wednesday about supper time, 6 something in the evening. So what they do with Sock Madness is once everything's ready to go, they will release what everyone refers to as the specs. They have a list in the information thread on Ravelry in the Sock Madness group. They have a list of what is needed for each of the pair of socks that will be done during Sock Madness. It doesn't tell us which of the details go with which pair of socks, or which is qualifying, which is round 1, 2, 3, and so on. That information isn't told. It's just that here are the materials we need for all the different pair of socks. So they'll say for sock A, you need, I'm just making this up, like you'll need a 100-gram skein of yarn in a semi-solid or a tonal. You'll need 400 beads. You'll need, it'll have information like that. If there's certain things, or it might need buttons. We've had all kinds of weird and wonderful things. We've actually one year put a zipper in a pair of socks. That blew my mom and my stepdad. That just completely blew their minds. But so on Wednesday, about 20 after 6 in the evening, the specs for the qualifying round came out. So the specs told us that we needed 100 grams of the main, I think it said 100 grams of the main color, 20 grams of a contrasting color, and up to 34 different scrap yarns of about, I think it was about 2 yards. Was it 2 grams each? 2 yards each? I can't remember the exact details. So you could have a minimum of 4, the main color and the main contrast color, and a minimum of, that's not 4, that's only 3. And a minimum of 4 contrast scrap colors, or you could have up to 17 different colors on top of the main and main contrast. You could have up to 17 other colors on each sock. So 34 if you did 17 different colors on the 2 pair of socks. So seeing the specs freaked out a lot of people, because we're just wondering what on earth we're going to have to do. So the pattern came out, and once they drop the specs, the pattern will be out within 48 hours. We never know if it's going to come out 5 minutes later or 47 hours and 48 minutes. We don't know. It'll be within 48 hours of when the specs come out, the pattern will be available for us. So the pattern came out just before noon on Thursday, and it's adorable. The pattern is called, okay, my German pronunciation is non-existent. The pattern is called Leicht, L-E-I-C-H-T. I will have all the information linked to the pattern on my project page down in the description bar below. It is a pattern by Annette Schleicher. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Also known as Nerd Knits on Ravelry. And this is the Sock Madness 17 qualifying round pair of socks. I will put a picture of what the sock looks like over here, because I don't have enough done to really show you what on earth I'm going to do. But it's so adorable. It shows, as you've seen in the picture that I posted over here, it is, the sock goes down and it's all done in intarsia in the round, which is a technique I will be learning how to do. I don't think I've ever done, or if I have done, I've not done much, and I've not done recently. So it is a technique I will be learning. But it has there's a background color, which is our main color. There is a girl that's floating up in the air holding 17 balloons on each sock. So that is where we come up with the color combination. The main color, and in my case I'm using a gray because I didn't have a blue like the sky that was suitable to use. The girl is going to be done in a dark navy blue, and the toe is also, for all of us, the girl and the toe are in the main contrast color. The entire body of the sock is done in the main color, And then the balloons can be anywhere between 4 and 17 different colors on each sock. So on mine, so far I have one cuff is done. So here's my first cuff. And the first, I think, 4 or so rounds, I'm ready to start the balloons on the first sock. The second sock, I'm still working on the cuff. So it took me several tries to get the cuff working. It's done. You need two circular needles, and the pattern is written to use Judy's Magic Cast On, and you cast on over 2 needles. You cast on the total number of stitches for the sock, and then you join one half of the stitches. So you basically cast on double the amount of stitches you need for the circumference of the sock. Then you start knitting in the round and knit on one half of the stitches, and you'll knit a certain number of rows. So these are still, these on this needle at the bottom, these are still the other half of the stitches that were originally cast on. You knit a certain number of stitches, then you do one round in purl, and then you do a certain number of rows to match the other half, and then you fold it and join the 2 ends together so that you have just like a rolled cuff. I hope that made sense. But the first time when I cast it on, so I cast on all the stitches, and then I got it into a tangled mess when I was trying to get the first row of knit stitch done. It didn't work, so I got frustrated and I pulled it out. And I just put it aside, and I got the stitches cast on. No. Yes, I did. On Thursday evening, I cast on the stitches, and then instead of trying to get it into the round and start the knitting portion, I just put it aside and thought, I'm not going to try doing this in the evening when I'm not 100% awake anymore. And I've already messed it up once. So I just put it aside and tackled it on Friday morning, and then it was fine. So on Friday morning and partway into the afternoon, I got the first cuff finished, and the second cuff I just started this morning. So this cuff, this is only taking me the morning to do most of the second cuff. So I didn't want to start doing the intarsia, because once you start the balloons, you need to get all your yarn set up and everything for the intarsia portion. I didn't want to tackle that last night. So I will get to that probably this afternoon. If not, we have a full 2 weeks to finish the socks. As long as we finish the socks according to the specs, according to the pattern, within the 2-week window, we will qualify to move on and be placed on a team for Sock Madness. So they're started. I expect I will get the second cuff finished today. I might get the yarn measured out and divided up and everything for the balloons. And here, let me show you what I have in mind for my balloons. First off, the yarn I'm using, why don't I tell you that part too? You think I hadn't done this before. So let's put that aside. So the yarn I'm using for the main color is Valley Yarns Huntington. So it is a yarn from Webs. It is a 75-20% superwash merino and nylon blend. And I have two 50-gram skeins. And the color is light gray heather. And I had bought a bunch of these Valley yarns quite a while back. I bought a bunch of the 50-gram skeins because each of them come in a 50-gram skein. So I bought several of the gray and a whole bunch of individual 50-gram skeins. And my intent back then was to make a bunch of sort of shorty socks with gray toes, heels, and cuffs, and use all these other colors for the rest of the sock. I haven't done that yet. I still have all this yarn. I probably have a dozen colors, give or take. There's a bunch. So I suspect several of those colors are going to be making an appearance in Sock Madness this year. There's a couple patterns that call for like 52 grams and 48 grams of the fingering weight yarn. So I think what I'll be able to do is choose two nicely contrasting colors, like red and yellow, or blue and yellow. What other colors do I have? The red and pink. There's all kinds of choices. So I suspect some of those yarns are going to show up in Sock Madness. My contrast for the girl and the toe is going to be this stuff. This is some yarn I got a while back from, I don't remember, I have no idea where. I can't remember who I got it from or where I got it. I've got this one skein of navy blue, so that will be my girl and the toe. And then otherwise I've got a bunch of scraps. And these will be all my balloons. Is that all of them? I think there's still one down there. Anyway, so I've got a couple different blue. I've got a bright blue and darker blue, medium blue. I've got red, yellow, green, pink, and orange. So I think I will use these 8 colors to make the balloons. I will go through the pattern and on the chart that shows how to do, or how to select, or how to do the entire shift for the balloons. I think I'm going to go through with the pencil crayon and color in what colors are going where for the balloons. And that way I'll map out. I don't know if I'll do the colors in the same placement from the right sock to the left sock, or if I'll rearrange them. I'll probably do them the same just because I'll have colored it in. Excuse me. I will have colored all of this in on the chart, and I don't think I might not want to bother having to do that again. Let me put these guys down so I don't end up having to go chasing them all over the floor later. So that is my current project I'll be working on the most for the next while. The Sock Madness qualifying round. That takes my highest priority right now because I have less than a 2-week window now to finish it. I have until a week from upcoming Thursday at lunchtime, and it has to be done by then. So I'm hoping to get the bulk of it done over the next several days. I'm hoping I have it finished to show you next week, but let's not hold our breath on that because I might not quite be able to have it done in the week. like work and stuff like that. I got work commitments that I have to do instead, and other life things that just have to be done. So that is my knitting. Finished object. I need to get it blocked so that I can show it to you looking even more gorgeous than it does now. I probably will do a little bit more on my February socks, and I probably should have those done for next week. And just because there's a few things when we'll be traveling, we've got a couple of things where I'll be able to have some time to do some knitting, but I don't want to be wrestling with 8 different color, like all the intarsia thread tails to deal with. I think it's going to be a little bit like knitting with an octopus, but it's going to be fun. And I will learn a new technique or get more practice on a technique that I might have done before. I'm not sure. I maybe have never done intarsia on the round before. I don't know. We'll see. Either which way, it's a new skill that I will be learning or getting a lot more practice on. And, oh, that was the other thing I was going to talk to you about. Last week I had asked for people to make suggestions for project bags for me to look at. And because I had decided I wanted to buy myself another project bag for a birthday present for myself. And I had mentioned I was hoping I might be able to get a fat squirrel bag, but I was also open to other suggestions. I lucked out, and Amy Beth did post a shop update on Wednesday night, and I got one of her bags. There was one of them that was, I got the largest size that she does, because I found that when I was working on my Anthology throw, I didn't have quite enough space. I didn't have a bag that it fit in properly. And I do enjoy knitting sweaters, so I'm thinking that down the road I will need some bags that are a little bit bigger to house a larger project. So I got the Aran sweater size bag, and it's mailed, it's on the way, and according to the tracking number, it should be here on Tuesday. So I will be able to show that to you guys next week. And I hope I love it as much as the picture depicts. I know I will. It's going to be great. And I have looked at all of the suggestions that everyone gave me for other project bag designers and sellers. And I'll be keeping them in mind because there were some gorgeous things that they had also. Now I want all the bags. I do not need all the bags, but I want all the bags. So I might be starting to squirrel away a little bit more money again and maybe treat myself to another medium-sized bag. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe I'll try to behave for a little while. We'll see how that works. So anyway, so I plan on spending the rest of my day on my birthday. I'm going to relax this afternoon. I'm going to get some more knitting done. I'm going to finish the second cuff on my qualifying round socks. This evening we are going out for supper. It's not what I had initially would have planned for myself, but our church tends to try once a month to have some kind of event that anyone that wants to from the church can participate in. Oftentimes it's just a potluck at the church on Sunday afterwards. But for Valentine's Day, they decided that what they wanted to do was anyone from the church that wants to, we have made a reservation at a restaurant about 15-20 minute drive from where we live. And it's tonight. So I will be going out with a whole group of people from our church for my birthday supper. It's not my birthday supper. They're calling it the sweetheart banquet or Valentine's dinner. So it'll be couples from the church or individuals from the church are all going out for Valentine's Day supper. And we never go out on Valentine's Day because we just don't want to deal with the busy crowds. So we'll typically, for this kind of thing, we go out on a Saturday evening. So for whatever reason, it did not get scheduled or planned for the weekend before Valentine's Day. It's after Valentine's Day. So it will be tonight. So I knew I'd be wanting to go out for dinner for my birthday any which way. But it'll be with a group of friends of ours from church. So I'll have I'm going to call it's my birthday celebration dinner. So we will be going out for dinner. So that will cut a little bit into my knitting time for this evening, but that's fine. It'll be good company and it'll be a lot of fun. And other than that, I plan on spending a goodly amount of time working on my knitting over the next several days. And then I have work stuff to do as well. So, but I do have, that's right, I do have on Tuesday and on Thursday, I have 2 virtual professional development / conference things to attend over Zoom. So much knitting will happen during those. I have a pad of paper and a pen beside me so I can quickly just let go of my knitting in one hand, because I knit continental, so the yarn's over in my left hand. So I can easily just write things down and back to my knitting. And I don't have to have the camera on, anything like that, so works out well. So I will get a good amount of time for knitting, especially the Thursday one, because that one runs from, I think, 10 till 2, or is it 1 till 4:30? I forget. I will double check that. But it's a good 3+ hours of knitting time. That's a win. So on that note, I better get going. I want to get the editing done on here and get back to working on my cuff and start getting all my little yarn bits measured out and ready to start the intarsia. Wish me luck with that, guys. Alrighty, I look forward to showing you my progress on my knitting in the next week. And I'm going to get a few more shorts filmed and get those posted. I'm not sure if any of you have seen those or are interested in those, whatever. It's all good. So anyway, on that note, I really am going to shut up this time and stop talking at you. So take care, and I will see you guys in a week. Bye.